The stars were quiet. Dale sat alone inside a small room at listening post E9. It's the last human outpost near the edge of the galaxy. The room was filled with blinking lights, glowing screens, and soft hums from the machines. Dale had been here for 2 years monitoring deep space signals. Most days were the same. Static noise, weak radio waves, and silence from distant stars. He didn't mind. He liked the silence. No shouting, no rush, no problems. Just peace, stars, and his old music player filled with songs from Earth. But today was different. At exactly 3:12 station time, signal came. It started as a soft hum, low and strange. Dale leaned forward, adjusting the receiver. The hum turned into a whisper, but it wasn't a language he knew. He tapped the console. The AI assistant, a friendly voice named Lynn, came online. "Lynn," he said, "filter the noise and boost the gain." "Yes, Dale," Lynn replied calmly. The signal grew clearer. Now it sounded like ... words. Not English, but not completely alien either. Lynn worked quickly, analyzing the pattern. After a few seconds, Lynn said, "Dale ... This is a directed signal. It's not random. Someone is trying to talk." "To us?" Dale asked, surprised. "No, to you." Dale frowned. "What?" Lynn played the message again, now with translation. "Don't move. Human. I finally found you." Dale stared at the screen. "It's not funny, Lynn. I'm not joking," Lynn replied. "The message is repeating. It's using a modified Earth code. Someone knows about humans." Dale's heart began to beat faster. He pulled up the star map. The signal was coming from a sector marked as uncharted. No colonies, no stations, no ships. Then the alarm sounded, "Unknown object approaching." Lynn said, "Speed. Mach 12. Design. Not human. Arrival in 17 minutes. Dale jumped to his feet. "Contact command." "Signal jammed," Lynn answered. "We're alone, Dale." Dale looked out the window, beyond the energy shield of the station. The stars were still quiet, but something was coming. He could feel it like a wave building in the ocean before. A storm. He grabbed his toolkit and hurried to the defense panel. His station had basic shields, a single energy turret, and a distress beacon, useless if it couldn't send. The screen flickered again. "Don't move, human." The message repeated. The voice was female calm, but with weight. Dale didn't know why, but something about it made him feel cold. It wasn't a threat, it was a promise. The object entered visual range. It was sleek and black, shaped like an arrowhead. No engine trails, no lights. It moved like a ghost, silent and steady. Dale had never seen a ship like it. Not human. Not even like the friendly alien species Earth had met. This was something else, Dale said. "Lock the doors." "Full." "Station lockdown." "Done," the AI said. The ship hovered just outside the station. No weapons showed, no transmissions. Then, without warning, it opened a small hatch at the bottom, released a platform, and a figure floated down. Dale ran. To the internal cams, it was a person. No, not a person, a woman, but not human. She was tall and slender, her skin pale silver. Her long dark hair flowed like silk, and her eyes glowed softly violet. She wore a tight suit covered in patterns that moved like liquid metal. She walked calmly toward the airlock. "She's trying to enter," Lynn warned. "Don't let her," Dale shouted. But the door slid open anyway. "She bypassed the system," Lynn said. "She's inside." Dale grabbed a plasma tool, not a weapon, but sharp. "Enough." He held it tightly and backed into the corner of the control room. The door opened, and there she stood. The alien woman stepped inside without fear. She looked around slowly, then her eyes locked on Dale. He raised the tool. "Don't move, human," she said firmly. "I finally found you." Her voice was the same as the signal, calm, serious, and strangely sad. Dale didn't lower the tool. "Who are you? How do you know me?" Didn't answer right away. She studied him closely, as if confirming something. Then she lowered a strange device she had been holding, a silver rod with glowing lines. "My name is Kira," she said. "You are Dale, technician of listening post E9, grandson of Commander Len Ford." Dale blinked. "How do you know my grandfather?" "I've been searching," she said, "for many years, through ruins, across systems, following trails left long ago by your kind." "Why?" "Because Earth left something behind," Kira said. "Something dangerous. And now, only you can stop what was started." Everything about this felt like a dream, or a warning. "I'm just a technician," he said. "I fix wires and listen to space." "You're more than that," Kira replied. "You are human. And that means you matter." She stepped closer. Dale didn't move. Gale stood still, his hand tight around the plasma tool. Kira, the alien woman, stood only a few steps away. She did not attack. She did not speak in anger. Her glowing violet eyes held something else: urgency and fear. "I don't understand," Dale said. "Why me? What did my grandfather do?" Kira looked around the control room. Her fingers moved over the silver rod in her hand, and it projected a map into the air. Stars lit up like candles in the dark. One star blinked red. It was far away, deeper in uncharted space. "This is where it began," she said softly. 200 years ago, a human drone entered Zarin space. It flew too close to a world that was ... forbidden. Dale frowned. "Zarin, that's your people." "Yes," Kira said. "My home." "At first we didn't understand the machine. We thought it was lost, but then it activated something. An old weapon. One we never meant to use again." She turned to Dale. "It destroyed 2 colonies. Millions died. Our leaders believed humans attacked us." "That's not true," Dale said. "We were exploring. We never meant, I believe." "You," Kira interrupted. "But not everyone does." Dale lowered the plasma tool a little. His chest felt heavy. "What does this have to do with my grandfather?" Kira walked over to the map and tapped one of the red lines. A new image appeared, an old photo, faded but clear. A man in a dark uniform, standing beside a metal drone with the Earth symbol. On it, his name tag read, Commander Len Ford. "That's him," Dale whispered. "That's really him." Kira nodded.
Oh.
"He was part of the team that built the drone. His name is in the system that holds the weapon." "Your name is there too?" "My name? Your DNA? You carry his code. The system still listens to it." Dale's legs felt weak. He sat down slowly. "This is ... too much. I just fix panels." "And monitor stars?" Kira crouched down in front of him. "I understand this is not the life you chose, but your people left something behind, something dangerous. The weapon is still there, hidden and active. Now, others want to use it against." Earthdale looked at her carefully. "So you're here to stop them?" "Yes," Kira said, "but I can't do it alone. The system won't respond to Zarin signals, will only answer to human blood." Silence filled the room. Dale's thoughts spun in circles. Could he really be the key to stopping a war? "What happens if we don't stop it?" he asked quietly. Kira stood. "Earth becomes the next target." Dale swallowed hard. Outside, the alien ship still floated in silence. The stars watched, distant and cold. "Then let's go," he said, standing up. Kira blinked. "Now, yes," Dale said. "Let's find that weapon. So let's find that weapon and shut it down." Kira gave a small, respectful nod. "Then prepare. Yourself, human. We fly into the dark." 30 minutes later, Dale stood inside the alien ship. The floor was smooth and cool, the walls alive with shifting lights. Kira touched a panel, and the ship lifted without a sound. The stars bent as they entered faster than light travel. Dale looked out the window and saw nothing but streaks of light. No sound. No, wait. Just motion. Inside the ship, he sat beside Kira at a glowing console. She explained more as they flew. "The weapon is hidden inside a vault called the Core. It's on a dead moon near the border of old Zarin territory. After the first explosion, we locked it away." "Why didn't you destroy it?" Dale asked Tara. "Look down," Some wanted to keep it, just in case. They want to use it against Earth. I do not agree with them. That's why I left. You betrayed your own people. She looked at him. I followed my heart. Dale didn't speak. He understood the weight of such a choice. He'd read history, stories of humans who did the same, who chose peace over orders. Do they know you're with me? He asked. They will soon, Kira replied. They flew in silence for a long time. Later, Kira showed him a small memory crystal. She placed it on the table, and it played a recording of the first attack, bright light, then darkness. Screams echoed through. The ship Dow turned away. That's what happens when machines are left behind without care, Kira said. You humans build fast, but sometimes you forget what you leave behind. Dale nodded slowly. We're not perfect, but we don't. Want war? Kira looked at him. Then help me prove it. After one day of travel, the ship exited lightspeed. Before them was a dead moon, gray and silent, circling a black star. Nothing else lived in the system. That's it, Kira said. The core is inside that moon. They moved toward the surface. No defenses showed, no lights, just rock and dust. The ship found a narrow tunnel and entered slowly. Inside was a hangar, long forgotten. Rusted machines and broken lights lined the walls. At the far end stood a heavy metal door with the Earth symbol carved into it, worn, but still visible. Dale felt a strange chill. It's waiting, Kira whispered. They stepped out of the ship. The air was thin, but breathable. Dale walked slowly toward the door. As he approached, the panel beside it blinked green. Human code recognized, a voice said. It was deep, flat, and old. Commander lineage confirmed. Welcome back. Door open. Kira and Dale entered the dark hallway beyond. Inside the vault, lights flickered to life. Old screens blinked on, showing star maps and ancient code. In the center of the room, floating above a pedestal, is the core divisa glowing sphere of blue light surrounded by metal arms. Then the voice spoke again, awaiting final command. Extermination protocol ready. Dale stared at it. The weapon was alive, and it was waiting for him. The room inside the moon was quiet, but it did not feel empty. The soft hum of machines echoed off the metal walls. Blue lights pulsed from the floating sphere in the center. The sphere was the weapons, coralled, powerful, and still active. Dale stood frozen. He had never seen anything like it. The sphere didn't just glow. It felt alive, like it was watching him. Behind him, Kira stayed silent, her hand close to her device. The old voice spoke again. DNA match confirmed. Human chain complete. Final command required. Final command, Dale whispered. What does it mean? Kira stepped forward carefully. It means the system is waiting. Your ancestors built this weapon. Now it wants you to decide what happens next. Dale turned to her. Why would they build something like this? For defense? Maybe, Kira said. Or fear? Maybe they thought something worse was coming, but they didn't destroy it. That was the mistake. He looked around the room. Old Earth flags were painted on the walls, faded with time. The consoles were written in English, mixed with symbols Dale didn't recognize. It was clear this place was human-made, but touched by alien hands over the years. Dale walked slowly to the pedestal. As he approached, the core pulsed brighter. Wait, Kira warned. It might be sensitive. I need to see, Dale said. He placed his hand on the pedestal. A light passed over his fingers. Suddenly images filled the room, holograms of war, fire, and strange worlds burning. A deep voice, older than the one before, began to speak. Operation Final Flame. Approved by Earth Defense Command. Year 2234. Target protocols uploaded. Fail-safe set. Awaiting lineage confirmation. Dale's heart sank. This was part of a war plan. Yes, Kira said quietly. But the war never came. Earth survived. Your people forgot. We didn't. He turned to her. You said someone wants to use this? Who? Kira looked down. A group called the Flame Circle. Zarin leaders who believe humans will strike again. They want to use this weapon to destroy Earth first, but they can't activate it without a human command. That's why you came for me, Dale said. Yes, she replied. And now that you're here, the countdown could begin. We have to stop it. Dale looked back at the core. How do I shut it down? Before Kira could answer, alarms began to sound. Red lights flashed. Unauthorized signal detected, the old voice said. Foreign craft approaching. Defense mode active. Kira grabbed her rod. They found us. Who? Dale asked. Kira's voice grew tense. The flames circle. They followed us. The screen showed 3 dark ships entering the moon's tunnel. They moved fast, like knives in space. We have to leave, Dale said. Kira shook her head. If we run, they'll take this place. We must shut it down now. But how? Dale asked. Kira pointed to the core. You must command it. Speak to it. Show it who you are. Dale looked doubtful. Not a soldier. I don't know. Any commands? You don't need codes, Kira said. You need truth. This weapon listens to the human heart, not just voice. Dale stepped forward again. The sphere glowed bright. Its reflection shimmered in its light. He took a deep breath. I am Dale Ford, he said, loud and clear. I am not my grandfather. I do not want war. I do not want to kill. I want this to stop. The room went silent. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the sphere spoke. Emotional command accepted. Extermination protocol paused. Dale sighed in relief. But it wasn't over. The door behind them exploded. 3 tall figures entered, wearing dark armor. Their helmets had no eyes, only red lines. They raised strange weapons that buzzed with energy. Step away from the core. One of them said. Kira stood in front of Dale. You're too late. You brought a human here, the leader said. Good. Now we will use him. No, Dale said. I won't help you. The leader stepped closer. You don't have a choice. Suddenly the core pulsed red. Warning. Hostile presence detected. Defense systems charging. The weapon reacted to danger. One of the armored figures aimed his weapon at Kira. Dale shouted, Stop! If you fire, the whole place could blow. But they didn't listen. The first shot rang out, but Kira moved fast. Her rod lit up and a blue shield blocked the blast. Sparks flew. Dale dove behind the console. Kira struck back with a flash of energy, knocking one of the attackers off his feet. Dale grabbed a metal bar from the floor and swung it at the second one, hitting his arm. The attacker stumbled. Dale! Kira shouted. Command the core again? Tell it to defend. Dale ran to the pedestal and yelled, Defend this room. Do not let them take the weapon. Command accepted. Activating shields. A blue wall rose around the core. The attackers fired again, but the energy blasts bounced off. The lights turned white, and the old voice returned. Human protection priority engaged. Foreign threat marked. One of the invaders shouted, Fall back. The system has locked us out. They retreated, escaping through the door. Silence returned. Dale sank to the floor, breathing hard. Kira stood beside him, her suit slightly burned, but she smiled. You did it, she said. I didn't even know what I was doing, Dale replied, shaking his head. But you followed your heart, Kira. Said that was enough. Dale looked at the core. Is it safe now? For now, Kira said, but we have to move it, or destroy it. Can we do that? Kira looked at the glowing sphere. Together, maybe we can. The glowing core floated in the middle of the vault. Blue light from it danced across the walls. Dale stood beside the control panel, still breathing hard after the attack. His hands were shaking, but his voice was calm. We can't leave this thing here, he said. Kira nodded. She checked her damaged arm where the armor had burned part of her suit. Agreed. They'll return, and next time they'll bring more. Dale looked at the glowing sphere. Can we shut it down fully? Kira walked up to it and studied the patterns moving across the surface. It's not just a weapon, she said softly. It's a machine, yes, but it's also a message. A warning from your past. Dale frowned. What kind of message? She turned to him. Your people feared what might come from the stars. So they built this as a last option. They left it behind, thinking the war was over. They never came back for it. They forgot, and others paid the price. Dale felt shame rise in his chest. We always rush forward, build fast, explore fast, but sometimes we don't clean up our mess. Kira looked at him gently. You didn't make this, but you're choosing to fix it. That's what matters. Dale stepped closer to the core again. Is there a way to destroy it safely? Kira pulled a small device from her belt and placed it on the floor. A small screen lit up. This is a phase stabilizer. If I attach it to the core, it will weaken the energy field. Then we can overload it. It will burn itself out. And how long will that take? Dale asked. Kira checked the screen. For hours. Dale's eyes narrowed. That's too long. What if they return? Kira looked back toward the hallway. Then we'll have to delay them. She placed the stabilizer carefully under the core and tapped a few commands. The blue light dimmed a little, and the core made a soft humming sound, slower, calmer. It's working, she said. Now we wait. They sat on the floor near the control panel, surrounded by the quiet hum of old machines. Dale looked at Kira. You said you've been searching for years, he said. How did you even find me? Kira smiled slightly. Your station was one of the last near this part of space. I searched many others first. You were the only one left listening. Dale chuckled. Guess I'm not so useless after all. No, Kira said. You're exactly who I needed to find. They talked for a while about Earth, about Zarin, about their pasts. Dale told her how he grew up on Luna Base, fixing machines since he was a child. Kira spoke of her people's art, their flying cities, how most of them had never seen a human before. We were always told humans were dangerous, Kira said. Wild, fast, unpredictable. And now? Dale asked. She looked at him with a small smile. Now I think humans are complicated, but not evil. Dale looked away. I wish I could tell everyone on Earth about this, about what we left behind. You will, Kira said. If we survive, suddenly. Lynn's voice came through Dale's wrist device. Dale. Incoming ship. Speed suggests flame circle scouts. Estimated arrival, 12 minutes. Dale stood up. So much for 4 hours. Kira checked the stabilizer. The core is still weakening, but not fast enough. Dale looked around the vault. Is there another way out? Kira shook her head. Only one tunnel in and out? That's how they designed it. Let's trap anyone inside. Great, Dale muttered. He walked to the control panel and tapped into the moon systems. What if we block the tunnel? Kira's eyes lit up. You mean collapse it? There's a maintenance bay under this room, Dale said. It has fuel cells for the old landing ships. Quote, if we set them to explode, we buy more time, Kira finished. And maybe stop them from ever reaching the core. They moved. Quickly, Kira opened a panel and climbed into the floor access. Dale followed, crawling through tight tunnels filled with wires and old tech. The air was dry and smelled like metal. The bay below was dark, but still full of old fuel cells. Long unused, but still dangerous. Dale looked at them. We just need one to blow near the support wall. Kira set her timer. I'll handle. This? You go back and guard the core. Dale shook his head. I'm not leaving you alone. She looked at him. If something happens to both of us, no one will be left to finish this. For a moment, they stared at each other. Finally, Dale gave a slow nod. Be careful. I always am, she said. He climbed back up and returned to the vault. Core hummed quietly. The energy was dimmer now, softer. Dale checked the time. 2 hours left. Then the warning siren began again. Lynn's voice came through. They've landed. For life forms approaching. Dale picked up a heavy pipe from the... Florence stood near the door. A few minutes later, the first attacker appeared. It was one of the Flame Circle's scouts, wearing dark armor and a helmet. Behind him came 2 more. Step aside, the leader said. We only want the core. You're not taking it, Dale replied. The man raised his weapon. You think you can stop us? Dale didn't answer. Instead, he looked up and shouted, Now, Kira! From deep below, a boom echoed through the vault. The floor shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Then another explosion, louder this time. The tunnel behind the invaders collapsed with a roar of falling rock and metal. The scouts stumbled back, trapped between Dale and the rubble. Kira climbed up behind them from a side shaft. "Weapons down," she said, holding her rod ready. "Surrounded." The scouts dropped their weapons. Dale stepped forward. "This place dies today. You can leave or stay and vanish with it." The leader stared at him, then nodded slowly. "We'll leave." "Good choice," Kira said. They marched the scouts back to their ship and sent them off. When the engines faded in the distance, Dale turned back toward the vault. He looked at the core, still glowing, but weaker now. Kira walked beside him. 2 more hours," she said. Dale watched the light slowly fade. "We finish what others forgot," he said. 2 hours later, the weapons core flickered for the last time. Its blue glow faded into a dull gray. The humming stopped. The vault became silent, like the heart of a dead machine. Dale stepped forward and touched the surface. It felt cold now. No more energy, no more threat. Kira stood beside him, looking at the dark sphere. "It's over," she said softly. "The weapon is gone." Dale nodded. "It feels strange, like something big just ended." "Because it did," Kira replied. "A shadow from your past has finally been put to rest." They stood there for a while, breathing in the stillness. Then Lynn's voice came through Dale's wrist device. "Dale, I am detecting a message from Zarin Command. High-level broadcast. They demand your surrender." Dale and Kira looked at each other. "They know what we did," Dale said. "Yes," Kira answered. "And they're not happy." Back on the alien ship, the two of them prepared for departure. The vault behind them was now sealed. Kira had locked it with a self-destruct sequence, just in case someone tried to power the core again. In 5 hours, the entire vault would collapse. The ship lifted off and flew quietly through the dark tunnel, past broken metal and fallen stone. When they reached space, Kira set a course toward Zarin Prime. "You're sure about this?" Dale asked. "Yes." She said, "We need to speak to the High Council. They must hear the truth from both of us." "They'll believe you?" "I don't know," Kira admitted, "but we have to try." As the stars passed by, Dale sat quietly. He thought about his grandfather, the drone mission, and the weapon left behind. So much history had been forgotten, but now he had a chance to help make it right. 3 days later, the ship entered Zarin Prime's orbit. From space, the planet looked beautiful, shining oceans, floating cities, and green lands. Dale had never seen an alien world so alive. But the skies were full of warships. The flame circle was preparing for something big. "We don't have much time," Kira said. "If they launch an attack, Earth will not be ready." "Then let's stop it," Dale said. They landed near the council tower, a tall silver building with blue lights running along its edges. Soldiers met them at the landing pad, weapons ready. One of the officers pointed at Dale. "The human will. Come with us." Kira stepped in front of him. "Comes as a guest, not a prisoner." He disabled a weapon protected by Zarin law. "He prevented a war," Kira said firmly. The officer hesitated, then nodded. "You may speak to the council, but only once." Inside the council chamber, tall alien leaders sat in a wide circle. Their faces were calm, but their eyes showed worry. The Grand Speaker, an older Zarin with silver markings on her skin, stood. "Up, Kira," she said. "You left without permission, and now you return with a human." "I had to," Kira replied, "because your information was wrong." She turned to Dale. "This is Dale Ford, grandson of the commander who built the old weapon. He shut it down. He saved us all." The room went silent. The Grand Speaker looked at Dale. "Is this true?" Dale took a deep breath and stepped forward. "I didn't know what the core was. I'm not a soldier. I was just doing my job. ... When I learned the truth, I did what I could. I destroyed it." A council member asked, "Why should we trust you?" "Because I had the power to destroy you," Dale said, "and I didn't." Another asked, "Why was the weapon created?" "For defense," Dale answered. But we should have taken it back. We forgot it was there. That was our mistake. I can't change the past, but I'm here to help fix the future. The Grand Speaker looked at Kira. You risked your life to bring him here. Do you believe in him? Kira nodded. Yes, I've seen his actions. He had every chance to run, to use the weapon to do harm. But he didn't. He chose peace. The speaker looked around the room. Whispers filled the air. After a long pause, she raised her hand. The weapon is gone. And Earth remained silent. Perhaps we were wrong. Suddenly a voice interrupted from the back of the chamber. You are wrong. Everyone turned. A tall man in dark robes stepped forward. His eyes glowed red with anger. He was one of the flame circle. This human is dangerous, he shouted. He fooled you all. No, Kira said, stepping forward. You wanted war. You used fear to spread lies. You've poisoned this council with hope, the man spat. But we do not need hope. We need strength. He pulled out a small device and pressed it. An alarm rang across the building. Kira's face turned pale. He's activated the attack fleet. Too late to stop it now, the man laughed. But Dale wasn't done. He ran to the council's main console. Lin was still connected through his wrist. Lin, patch me into their fleet signal now. Connected, Lin replied. Dale spoke into the mic. His voice echoed across the chamber and through every Zarin warship in orbit. My name is Dale Ford. I am human. And I destroyed the old weapon. Your leader wants you to fight a war that doesn't need to happen. But if you truly serve peace, then listen, there is no enemy, not today. For a moment, there was silence. Then one by one, the warships began to turn. Screens lit up around the chamber, showing ships powering down. The council gasped. You lost. Kira told the Flame Circle man. He was taken away by guards. The Grand Speaker looked at Dale. You did what no one else could. You stood in front of fear and gave us hope. Dale smiled weakly. I just told the truth. That night, Dale, and Kira stood on a balcony above the glowing city. You changed their minds, Kira said. We changed it together, Dale replied. She looked at the stars. Do you still want to go back to Earth? Someday, he said. But for now, I think I'll stay. She smiled, and for the first time the stars didn't feel so far apart. The sun was setting on Zarin Prime, casting long shadows over the floating city. The stars were beginning to appear, but the streets below still buzzed with life. There was a strange peace in the air now, a quiet that had not existed before. Dale stood beside Kira, looking at the city. He'd never thought that he would be in a place like this an alien world, surrounded by strangers who once saw him as a threat. But now, things were changing. The war was over. Peace was possible. We did it, Kira said, her voice soft but full of relief. They listened to you. Dale nodded. Not just me. We both did it together. Couldn't help but smile. It had been a long journey. And now, for the first time, he felt like something good had come from it. The Zarin High Council had agreed to a peace treaty. The Flame Circle's plans to attack Earth had been stopped. But there was still one more thing left to do. We need to be ready for what comes next, Kira said, her eyes on the horizon. There will always be those who want to fight. But now, you have to show them there's a different way. Dale turned to her. What do you mean? I'm not just talking about the Flame Circle, Kira said. I'm talking about the people on Earth. They don't know what we did here. They don't understand what the Zarin really want. If we want real peace, we need to tell them. We need to make sure both sides are ready for what's next. Dale thought about it for a moment. Earth was still far away. But the decision felt clear. You're right. We can't just end it here. This is only the beginning. Kira smiled. Then let's go. The next day they returned to the Zarin's central communication hub. The council members had agreed to send a message to Earth, but it wasn't going to be easy. The Flame Circle had supporters even among the Zarin leadership. Some were already questioning the new path. Dale was sitting at the communication terminal, waiting for the link to be established. He glanced at Kira, who was standing beside him, watching the countdown clock. It's time. she said quietly. Dale took a deep breath and tapped the console. The screen blinked in the face of Earth's. Commander General appeared. His expression was serious, but his eyes held a hint of confusion. Dale Ford, the commander said. We've been waiting for your report. What's the situation on Zarin Prime? Dale stood up, his voice calm but firm. Commander, this is not just a report. This is a message. A message for Earth and a message for the future. The commander frowned, but Dale continued. The Flame Circle tried to use an old weapon to destroy Earth. They wanted to start a war. But I stopped them. I've worked with Kira, a Zarin who believed in peace, to make sure that this weapon is destroyed. The war we were afraid of is over. There is no enemy here. There's only the chance for a better future. Kira stepped forward. This is a choice. A choice for Earth and the Zarin to work together, to understand each other, and to build a future without war. Dale's voice grew stronger. We have the power to choose peace, to choose cooperation. But it's not going to be easy. There are still those who want to fight, to use the past to justify future destruction. But we don't have to follow them. We don't have to repeat the mistakes of our ancestors. The commander sat back, his face unreadable. You understand? Commander, Dale said. This isn't just about stopping an attack. It's about changing how we think, how we treat others. The Zarin aren't our enemies. The Flame Circle tried to make them one. But we have to show them that humanity can choose something different. We can lead by example. There was a long pause. Finally, the commander nodded. Dale, I don't fully understand what you've done, but if it means that Earth has a chance for peace, then we'll support you. The Zarin will have the help they need. You won't abandon them. Dale breathed a sigh of relief. Thank you, Commander. Kira smiled, her eyes shining. It's just the beginning. Days passed and the treaty was signed. The Zarin and Earth agreed to share knowledge, to work together on space exploration, and to create a common defense against threats from the stars. It was a fragile peace, but it was real. Dale and Kira stood on the balcony of the Zarin Council building. Looking out over the city, the sun was setting again, casting the sky in warm colors. You've done it, Kira said. You helped change everything. Dale shook his head. We did it together. But there's still so much more to do. I think Earth is just beginning to understand what this means. She turned to face him. You're right. But now, we have a future to build, and we don't have to do it alone. Dale smiled. I think I'm starting to believe that. The stars were beginning to shine one by one as the two of them stood. Together, watching the world change. It wasn't perfect, and it never would be. But the first steps had been taken, and that was enough. They didn't need to fight the shadows anymore. Together, they had brought light. The days after the treaty were filled with meetings, exchanges, and discussions. Dale and Kira traveled between Earth and Zarin Prime, guiding both sides through the fragile beginnings of a new alliance. The world was changing, slowly but steadily. People on both sides were learning to trust each other and to listen. The history of fear and war that had once divided them was slowly fading, replaced by hope for a brighter future. But change wasn't easy. Not everyone on Earth was ready to accept peace with the Zarin. There were whispers of doubt, voices that wanted to return to the old ways, and among the Zarin, the Flame Circle had not been fully defeated. Some of their followers still lurked in the shadows, waiting for the chance to strike. Dale and Kira knew their work wasn't over. It had only just begun. One evening, on a quiet balcony overlooking a city that was part of both Earth and Zarin, Dale stood, looking at the stars. The distant hum of the city below was calming, but the weight of what they were trying to build rested heavy on his shoulders. Kira stepped up beside him, her presence quiet but steady. She looked up at the stars as well. Hey, do you ever wonder what's out there, beyond what we can see? Dale chuckled softly. Every day. But for the first time, I think I'm more concerned about what's here, the future. Kira nodded. I understand. The future isn't something we can control, but we can shape it together. I never thought I'd be doing this, Dale said, his voice thoughtful. I never thought I'd be standing on a planet like Zarin Prime talking about peace. I was just a technician, fixing wires. No, I'm part of something bigger. Something that could change everything. You're not just part of it, Kira said. You are the change. You didn't just listen to the past. You acted. You chose a path no one else was brave enough to take. Dale looked at her, a small smile forming. I just spoke the truth. You did more than that, Kira replied softly. You believed in it. Weeks passed. The treaty was being implemented, and the first joint missions between Earth and the Zarin began. New ships, new technologies, and new possibilities were on the horizon. And for the first time, both Earth and Zarin faced the stars together. Not as enemies, but as allies. One day, they were called to a meeting with the leaders of both worlds. It was to be a public ceremony and official signing that would mark the start of this new era. The two sides were nervous, but hopeful. As they entered the grand hall, the atmosphere was filled with tension and excitement. The room was filled with representatives from Earth Zarin and even some neutral parties who had come to watch the historic event. At the front of the room stood the Grand Speaker of Zarin, the Commander General from Earth, and several other key figures. The Grand Speaker turned to Dale and Kira. It is because of you two, she said, that we are here today. You showed us what true courage is, and now we can take the next step. Dale stepped forward, his heart pounding. He knew this moment would be remembered for a long time. The stakes were high. Peace was fragile. That there was something different in the air. It wasn't just about ending a war. It was about beginning something new, something bigger than anything either side had ever dreamed of. He stood at the podium and looked out at the crowd. Today isn't just about a treaty, he said, his voice strong. It's about the future. It's about learning from the past and choosing to move forward. Earth and Zarin were once enemies. But today, we are more than that. We are allies. And this is just the beginning. Eh? Kira stepped forward beside him. We've seen what fear can do. How it can cloud our judgment and divide us. But we've also seen what happens when we choose trust, when we choose understanding. We've made mistakes, yes, but we've also learned. And now, we have the chance to build something better. Dale and Kira signed the official document together. The room erupted in applause. But for Dale, the applause didn't matter. What mattered was the feeling in his chest, the hope for something greater than the stars themselves. This was a beginning. It was just the first step. After the ceremony, they stood outside, watching the sky turn dark. The stars above were bright, but not as cold as they once seemed. Now they felt closer, like they could reach them if they tried. Kira turned to Dale. Do you ever feel like we're still on the edge? Like there's more to this than we can see? Dale thought for a moment. I think we'll always be on the edge. That's the point, isn't it? We're always looking to the next horizon, the next challenge, the next step. She smiled. At him? Maybe that's why you're a human. You're not afraid of what's unknown. You're curious. And that's what will keep this peace alive. Dale looked at her, his heart swelling with gratitude. Didn't just stop a war, Kira. We changed something bigger. We opened a door to the future. We'll walk through it, she said together. As the stars began to shine brighter, the two of them stood together on that balcony, looking out over a future full of possibilities. They didn't know what the next chapter held. They didn't know what challenges they would face, but for the first time, they knew one thing for sure. They were not alone. The end.